Hey there. Welcome to Watch Recap, and today, I will explain a horror, thriller movie called, Look Away. Okay, so let's start. The movie begins with us seeing a sonogram where two babies are sharing a womb. It suddenly shifts to a 17-year-old girl Maria who is getting ready for school. Maria is very shy and socially awkward, and is often bullied for this, especially by one of her classmates named Mark. Maria's only friend is Lily, and even Lily ignores her when she is with others. So we can say that Maria's school life is not so good. One day, Maria and Lily were watching the ice hockey team play from the sidelines. Lily interrupts the practice and starts making out with her boyfriend Sean, while Maria watches in jealousy as she likes Sean but never had the courage to confess. While having dinner at home with her parents Amy and Dan is a plastic surgeon and an obsessive perfectionist, so he always had control over Maria's life and is the very reason for her shy personality. On the other hand, Maria's mother Amy always tried to do the best for her, but she too suffers from depression because of her husband's constant verbal abuse. Amy tries to encourage Maria to go with a boy named George for the upcoming prom. Maria refuses and goes upstairs. But on her way she overhears Dan talking about how much of a failure she is. Maria is deeply hurt by her father's words. Later, she finds a sonogram of a pair of twins hidden behind the mirror in her parents' room. After this, she goes into the shower where she finds that her reflection in the mirror is moving on its own. Terrified by this, she runs out of the bathroom. During breakfast, she tries to talk about the incident with Dan, but Dan interrupts her saying she should focus more on her looks and insults her again. At school, Lily gets busy with Sean and ignores Maria as usual. But then Mark makes her trip and fall to the floor. Everyone laughs at her, but Sean comes to help her and makes sure she is okay and even calls Mark out for doing this. That night, Maria hears someone calling her name from the bathroom. She is scared and goes in to check, but again finds her reflection. The reflection introduces herself as Iram and claims that she has always been with Maria, even since her birth. Iram says that she has the power to take all of Maria's sadness away but doesn't explain actually how she can help Maria and also what she wants in return. As they talk, Maria starts to like Iram as she knows all of her fears, weaknesses, likes and dislikes, ignoring the fact that she is literally talking to a reflection. Next day, Maria seems to be in a good mood, and later goes to her father's clinic, where she notices Dan flirting with a patient. Maria realizes what is happening but still goes to watch a movie with her father after this. But as they were leaving, she bumps into Mark, who is very nice to her in front of her father, and Maria knows this. Dan also finds that the kids are actually bullying her daughter but doesn't do anything. On their way to home, Dan asks Maria to come to his clinic tomorrow for an early birthday present. At night Maria talks to Iram, who asks her not to go to her father's clinic as her father doesn't love her. But Maria can't believe this, as it's very rare for her father to show love to her, and so she wants to go regardless of what Iram says. But her heart is broken when next day she finds that her father wants to give her a plastic surgery as her birthday present as he thinks she is ugly. Is he blind or what? Maria is devastated by her father's words, and so she just agrees with whatever he says. Returning home, Iram tells Maria that she always knew what kind of a person Dan was. She also knows that Maria is sad, so she makes her laugh joking about Dan cheating on his wife. But Amy comes in, saying she heard Maria talking to someone inside and is now worried for her. She later tells Dan about this, but Dan gives her a sleeping pill and asks her to rest, but before falling asleep, Amy admits that she is again having those nightmares recently. Next day, Lily and Maria comes to an old clubhouse to practice ice skating for the upcoming on-ice winter prom. Lily is very good at ice skating, while Maria can barely stand straight. Trying to skate, Maria falls down and hurts her knees, but instead of helping her, Lily continues to skate and have fun. It turns out that she did this on purpose as she hates when Maria comes closer to her boyfriend Sean. When Maria comes home, Iram tells her that Lily is not a good friend. Maria still wants to give Lily a chance, but Iram is against it and reminds Maria of all the bad things Lily did to her since they were just kids. And she then claims to take all of Maria's pain away if she switches places with her. So they touch each other's hands and goes in to switch, but Amy interrupts them. Next day, Amy does Maria's makeup and dresses her up for the prom night. Maria doesn't want to go, but she does it for her mother. But as soon as she gets there, she realizes it was not a good idea, as while everyone is skating with their partners, she is struggling to stand straight. But she breathes a sigh of relief when Sean comes to help her and even asks her for a dance. The two then enjoys a slow dance while Lily stares at them in jealousy. But suddenly, Maria slips and falls down. Sean goes to help her but is stopped by Lily. Mark comes and holds her hand to help her up, but instead he drags her across the ice. While she cries for him to stop, everyone laughs at her misery. When Mark stops, Maria quickly gets up and runs back home. Maria has finally had enough of everyone treating her like trash. She begs in front of Iram to switch places with her and solve all of her problems. Both of them joins hands and lips together to switch. Inside the mirror is now Maria, and the girl outside in the real world is Iram. Meanwhile, Amy is having a nightmare where she is giving birth to her baby, but something goes horribly wrong. She has been having the same recurring dream ever since Maria was born. Next morning, Amy notices a positive change in Maria's behavior, as where usually she barely touches her food, and now she is enjoying eating a bagel. Walking into the school, Maria is much more confident than usual, because she is not Maria at all. The bully Mark again tries to make fun of her, but Iram seductively whispers into his ear and shuts him up. Sean sees this and comes to ask what she said to Mark, so Iram whispers the same into Sean's ear, which makes him speechless. Lily comes and tries to explain all she did to her during the ice skating was just a joke. Iram confidently asks Lily if she can teach her how to skate. Lily is stunned by Maria's confidence and agrees to meet her again at the clubhouse to practice. Later, Iram goes to see Dan and she knows that her father had cheated on her mother many times, but Amy is just too scared to confront him for this. So Iram will do this for her, and when no one was at the reception, she calls Dan's girlfriend and asks her to come to the clinic at 1 p.m. She then also calls her mother Amy and asks her to come to the clinic as Dan has a surprise for her. Amy arrives at the clinic where she meets Dan's girlfriend, and in no time she realizes that Dan is cheating on her with this lady. At night, Iram asks Amy where her father is. Although Amy knows where he is, she lies saying Dan is working late today. A frustrated Iram rudely tells Amy that her husband is cheating on her with a young lady and she needs to accept this fact. Amy finds it so hard to handle and slaps Iram out of anger, but apologizes right after. Even after getting slapped, Iram is happy that her plan was successful. Maria, however, is not happy the way Iram treated her mother, but Iram explains she is just doing what Maria never had the guts to do. Maria now begins to regret her decision to switch her place with Iram. Next day after school, when everyone was leaving, Iram follows Mark into the washroom and hits him with a hockey stick, teaching him a lesson to never mess with her again. After this, Lily and Iram goes to the clubhouse for practicing ice skating, but Lily is shocked when she sees Iram can now skate like a professional and is even better than Lily, which Lily doesn't seem to like. But then, Iram begins to skate aggressively towards Lily. She doesn't even say a word, but Lily senses the danger and begins to run. But eventually she loses her balance and crashes into the pavement, and this kills her right away. Iram immediately calls the police and pretends to be crying. Meanwhile, Maria is shocked to see how cruel is Iram. She cries about her best friend's death, but Iram says she simply deserved it. Maria then demands to get out of the mirror, but Iram refuses, saying she still have a lot to do. Later, Iram goes to Sean's house pretending to be sad about Lily's death, but in reality she wants to get closer to him like Maria always had dreamed of. She successfully seduces him and the two make love. Later, Iram and Dan goes out for dinner where she orders a crab and eats it, showing immense hunger, which Dan doesn't like obviously. And when he asks her to stop, she puts her foot on the chair, challenging him. Iram and Sean starts dating and they begin to bunk classes frequently. One day, they come home after cutting their class. Amy finds their relationship to be disturbed, but Iram asks her to keep sleeping and goes upstairs to make love with her new boyfriend. Next day when they arrive at school, they see policemen entering the building. Iram asks Sean to cut school today so she wouldn't be interrogated. They drive to a motel and starts undressing, but then, Sean gets a call from her mother who tells her that the police wants to interrogate both Sean and Iram about Lily's death. Sean decides to leave, but Iram stops him, saying why he still cares about Lily when she's dead. This question makes Sean suspicious, and so he begins to doubt if Iram has to do something with Lily's death. But when he calls her out for this, she hits him from behind and kills him. But Iram regrets killing the only person who showed her love. She even cries with Maria in the bathroom after this. We are then taken to a flashback, where we see that Maria actually had a twin sister who was born with a deformed face, and Dan, as a perfectionist, didn't like the second girl child, so he euthanized her even after Amy begged him not to. Iram is that second child Dan euthanized, and she hates him for not loving her as a dad. Iram later gets drunk and goes to Dan's clinic, where he tries to calm her down, but is shocked when she gets completely naked in front of him. Dan gets mad at her and asks her to put her clothes back on, but Iram asks him if he would still love her even if she was deformed. Dan tries to avoid the question but is forced to say yes. But then, Iram cuts his throat with a scalpel. When Dan was on the verge of death, she asks him why he couldn't just love her. Later, while cleaning the scalpel, Iram looks for Maria in the mirror but can't find her. She returns home and sleeps next to her mother Amy. The final scene reveals that Iram and Maria are the same person. Her miserable life and the truth about her cruel father was the reason she created her dead twin sister in her mind. Matter of fact, Iram is Maria when you read it backwards. This is where the movie ends. Subscribe to the channel if you love movies, like and share the video, we appreciate it. See you again.